Let's go. Wednesday, MLB Best Bets covers. Josh Ingles, Derek Carty. Let's get things rolling today. Show yesterday on Derek's releases 1 and 2. But as always, we try to get Derek in this small window of 9:15, where if you're looking at 8:15, it's kind of not there all the time. So always, as always, follow Derek. Follow Cover Social as well on X, and we'll be dropping things because yesterday there was the Harper walk that cashed. We had Ray cash, Perez cash. There were some winning bets in that spot. So market changes, market moves, and things become available sometimes earlier, sometimes later in the day. So what's the best way people can follow that there, Derek?
Follow me and follow Covers, at Derek Carty on Twitter, on X. And then, there'll just be a thread, basically every day, I'll post one. I'll say, I'm adding to our card. I'll post the bet and then just reply. I'll just be doing replies to that under it, every day with whatever else comes available throughout the day.
Fantastic. Producer Mick knocking on the door saying, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, do all those things, doing the work. Appreciate everybody. Good to see you there in the morning. Reed, Milo, JPC 4th. We'll get right to it. Release procedure here today on the show. Just me and Derek. No John, no Joe. Tomorrow we'll be looking at me and Gary Sheffield Jr. Release procedure. We'll tell you the book. We'll tell you a secondary book. Give you some time. Log into those accounts. Tell you the game we're looking at. Then the market we're betting on. The player. Then the over, under. You guys let us know where it's going, where it's moving. All of that business. Chris in the chat. Kevin, good day to you. Beautiful Wednesday here. What about the Jays? What about the Jays, Derek? Can we talk about the Jays? Is that sustainable? Do you think so?
I was actually looking at projections yesterday, and the BATX has the Jays with a better chance of winning the division than the Yankees do.
Oh, Jays plus 140 right now to the Yankees, even money.
Yeah, no, I'm in for that.
Oh, he's in for that. Yesterday's lineup, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces. I mean, there's not a lot of huge, big names in that lineup, but they had 8 guys in the lineup with a 745 OPS or better versus Chicago. So there's a lot to like. 11 straight wins going today, and we got an afternoon game there, which is absolutely amazing. Lauer versus Hauser. Yankees, no playoffs future. Whoa, Yahtzee. Is Derek Canadian? No. So they're trying to figure out, is Derek just a Stan Canadian fan giving out that advice?
No. It does have the Yankees. It has the Jays and the Yankees both with a high chance of making the playoffs. I think like 85% each or something like that. It's just with the lead that the Jays have now, it does see them potentially, or at least having a better chance than the odds indicate of hanging on to win the division.
Someone asking, are we going to put that bet out? Plus 140? No?
Nah.
The AL really is a garbage league this year. There's some good spots. There's also some other good angles. I know in some books you can get to finish the 2 seed. I think the 2 seed's available for Toronto. I think that's somewhere in plus 410 range. I think they're 1 game back from Houston for that spot. But let's get to the releases. Let us know if anything on your mind there. We start things off in Bet365, Phillies, Giants. Let's go pitcher strikeouts. Remember when everything was pitcher strikeouts? Remember those days? Those were nice, right? Like now it's like, yeah.
Man, we're lucky to get market. A 1 pitcher strikeout a day with the way the lines move on those now.
Great. Let me get this out before I get to the chat. I have a problem with that. Jesus Luzardo, under 5.5 strikeouts, plus 130. Got the number there. 95 pitches on your projection, 5.43 Ks. Kind of been down on Luzardo all year. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but he usually pops up on the unders.
He does, yeah. And I don't know if you caught maybe 3 or 4 starts ago, there was some stuff going around about how he was tipping his pitches, and then he got rocked, and then he got rocked again. And then it looked like he fixed it. And then last start, he got rocked again. I haven't had a chance to go in and check if he was tipping again, but I mean, there's a chance that he's just not right. And even before considering that he's tipping his pitches, this is one that shows good value. So we will take this one.
There's Nick saying, anyone know why Luzardo was pulled after 2 last game? Not sure if that was a rain. Not sure if he was just hit.
Think there was rain, but I mean, it's possible he was tipping and they noticed and they're like, we can't keep him in here, kind of thing. Yeah, he threw 60 pitches. He got destroyed. I'd imagine that's what it was, but I didn't have time enough this morning to go in and double check.
Gave up 6 runs. No, Dunzo. If anybody was on Fuentes in Atlanta to go over 2.5 earned runs, that was literally the easiest pitcher prop yesterday to ever hit. I think it was done in 7 pitches.
That's amazing.
It's nuts. Inside the park home run from Lawrence Butler off the Sacramento wall that just careened to right field. Brent Rooker then went yard after a walk a couple pitches later. It was insane. I don't know and Bryce Edler's going today, and we'll get to him a little later. We keep on rolling. Rep bet 365. The Luzardo number was available plus 125 at MGM, plus 120 widely, and I think your number there before we jump away, plus 120 still good on that Luzardo?
Yeah, I'm okay at plus 120 still. The bet's projecting 5.4, so it's close to a 50-50 play, a little bit better. So as you get closer down to even money, I don't like it as much, but 120 still fine.
Awesome. Okay, rolling on to the next one. Cubs, Twins, market pitcher walks allowed. Number still there here at 365. Hard Rock plus 115. We'll talk about this market in a bit because the outs aren't there as much. Let's go, David Festa. Uncle Festa, under 1.5 walks, plus 128. You see that plus 128 at bet 365. It's not a 5. It's not a 0 in the last digit. It's going to move, and it's going to move to the under. Now, if you've been following this market as much, I know Derek was kind of a pioneer in this market when we were heavily betting it last year.
Yeah.
And now I absolutely love it. But now the market has changed significantly. DraftKings won't even put out an under until like the lineups are out now.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's a good market. This one is a little scary because he's facing the Cubs, and we know that the Cubs are one of the higher walk teams in baseball. And Festa has decent control, but not great control. A lot of this comes down to the leash, basically. Festa's a guy who they don't allow to go very deep into games. He's usually a 75, 80 pitch kind of guy. Has an extreme pitcher's umpire today, which should hopefully work in his favor. And we're getting good odds on it. So this is one where, I mean, you say it all the time, a lot of these, you know, the projection is exactly 1.5, you know, projects to win, you know, a little more than half the time, and we're getting plus money. And so we'll flip that coin at 128 every time.
100%. That's it. If you can find like plus money 1.5s at the projection around a coin flip, just take those plus money coin flips. I don't care who it is. It's when you kind of take out a lot of the digging into stuff out of betting. Man, it makes betting easy sometimes. It's like, here's my price. Here we go. And we do that every day. And we just saw a movement I'm seeing there from Chris McCulley in the chat saying Luzardo just jumped to under 6.5 at minus 170 at 365. And then back down to 5.5 at plus 128 G's. That could be my best guess. And this is total speculation that they maybe moved it the wrong way.
Definitely possible.
Yeah. We've seen that, right?
That wouldn't be the first time.
Festa down to minus 105 at Hard Rock. I saw plus 115 before the show. Plus EV, welcome to the chat. The walk market is really hard to find, as Milo points out. No Vig, the only place that those rarely fill. It's a really difficult market, and you're starting to see fewer books put them out. Someone said DK pulls them, but they do put them up later in the day. They just wait for the market to kind of normalize a bit.
Yeah, that's kind of what we saw with Yuri Perez yesterday. There were a couple books up early, and then later in the day, a bunch of them added on. We threw it out on social. Books are reluctant to, I guess, to post the stuff that we like too much.
Yeah, no, I was looking at there was a Bailey Falter thing that projected well in your numbers today. I believe it was over 1.5 at plus
Over,
140. I'm like, oh, okay, it's Kansas City. That's why we're getting the number. Kansas City facing lefties even worse at walk rate. So you're like, how much do I want to bet into this number, even though it's very priced in? And then while I'm looking at it, it moved to plus 180, and then it moved because
and if you got
plus
the
180 was
180,
a
I like
crazy number.
that. I think it's down to like 130 now or something. At the
125. Yes. The
Yeah.
180 was silly. But then when it jumps like that, then the worry, Derek, is like, do I bet this number that's now going to show that I have like 70 points of closing line value and it's going to terminate my account, which has been reviewed heavily. All my bets this morning, reviewed. The end is near with that one. We keep rolling. 2 pitcher props in. The under Ks, the under walks. Let's go. Mets, O's, we're at 365. 30 points off the next line here. So I'll get Derek's idea on it if he likes the next number here. Yesterday's covers, MLB prop, player spotlight winner, the over 1.5 total bases at plus money. The Polar Bear, Pete Alonso for a home run here, plus 350. It's here at 365 at plus 350. Those are quarter units we're betting on for our home run props. Facing Sagano, went yard last night. Plus 320, good. If you're looking at it, I think there's some plus 310s as well.
Yeah, I'm good with the 320. I'm good with the 310. I'm probably good down to 300. And you can find that at most books, I would think. There's a few that are under that now. But, I mean, Alonso obviously is a top-tier power hitter facing Sagano, who the bat is not a believer in. The ERA, I think, still looks good, but he gives up tons of contacts, tons of fly balls, tons of home runs. This park in Baltimore, I feel like the market's kind of been mispricing all year. It's a better power park than the market believes. We have decent weather, 80 degrees, a little bit of wind blowing out. This sets up well for Alonso. We're getting a really good number here, but even if you're getting a little worse, this is still probably the best home run prop of the day.
Beautiful. 2 things before we move on. Like button. Producer Mick, get us to that 100 like mark. Appreciate it if you're there and you haven't hit it. You're not helping us out. And finally, I was talking to John Metler about, he brought up an idea, like, I never like betting the same players on a teammates to hit a home run in the same game because there's a tax on it, right? You don't get straight odds. There's like
to parlay them, you're saying?
Yeah. So like Alonso and Francisco Lindor, for example.
Right.
If they were both, let's say, plus 300, let's see if I can do this. 16 plus 1,500 would be straight odds, but then you might get plus 1,300.
Right. Yeah.
The books price it as there is correlation. I always thought it should be the other way, that you should be getting value because the odds of 2 guys, teammates, hitting a home run in the game are very difficult. But John was talking about it's just a game where maybe home runs become more of the norm as B bullpens come in. Do you have any insights into that?
I would think the books are probably justified in taking a little bit off because, maybe, you get the B bullpen that day, or the starting pitcher is, he doesn't have his A stuff, his whatever, his stuff isn't working that day for whatever reason. He's tipping his pitches. He's whatever. Like, there are some correlative effects. I don't think they're massive, but I do think they're there.
Yeah. What did I have? Let's see my fantastic notes. Yeah, somewhere around 6% that they were taking off on it. So I don't know. I stand corrected. I really thought it should be the other way, but get it. Been a rough week for aces from Toy Flashback. It's just where we are in the time of year, right? Crazy heat, crazy humidity. If you've been a pitcher guy, the early months are always your best bets, and now it turns the other way. Now it's time to find the value. This is an interesting one here. Philly, San Francisco. We're at ESPN because this is the market of hitter strikeouts, which we can usually get at Bet365, but this player is not listed at Bet365.
But worth noting, this is, I think, our first time going to ESPN for this market. they recently opened hitter strikeouts like a week ago, which is nice to have another book that has them.
We lost 5 points.
I think, let me just double check. I think we still take that though.
Okay. Let me know,
Yeah, we're still
Ontario
good.
people too, if the Score has this market now, because I believe they're similar. So let me know if Luis Matos under 0.5 hitter strikeouts, even money. It's a stack on stack with 2 markets when it goes back to the Luzardo thing. So that's there. The pinch hit risk, I believe you have somewhere in the 35% range hitting out of the 8 hole. But hopefully that opens up at some other books once 365 lists it.
Yeah. So like you said, obviously correlated with the Luzardo play. We're kind of hoping that there's something going on with him still, tipping or whatever it is. Regardless, this is still a good play because Matos has a 35% pinch hit risk. Hits towards the back of the order most likely. So, if we're lucky, we'll see 2 at-bats. More likely, we'll probably see 3. And then he's pulled. And fairly low strikeout guy anyway. So this is a good one.
Yahtzee in the chat asking what's Glasnow's leash today. I think you have him projected for somewhere around 91 pitches.
Yeah, he threw I think 78 in his final rehab, so he should probably be able to get up around 90 today. I didn't see a lot of value on his lines, but if anyone notices something, feel free to let me know.
Yes, Travis Best said, other than Dave Roberts worrisome about his pitching staff on a winning team, that's always the worry with Dave Roberts. I know you had the 5.5 over projected well. I'm sure you kind of looked at it, but there's certainly some range of outcomes with him in that prop today.
Right. Yeah. So I was looking at the over a little bit, but I don't think there's enough there, especially because the upper bounds of his distribution are going to be capped by that pitch count. And we don't know, what his stuff, is he back 100% to his old stuff, or is he going to be, shaking off some rust still? So the value wasn't there enough for me to take it today, but I don't hate it if you are looking at that, because he should have, a decent leash.
The strikeout stuff kind of looks like it's there. 11 strikeouts to 2 walks over 6.2 innings in 2 starts, but he also gave up 13 hits and 8 earned runs. So I don't know in terms of that's just a tough one to dissect in a small sample.
Yeah.
All right. No, 91. But no, if you're looking for afternoon action, I'd probably prefer the over strikeouts towards the under. And I think it's kind of minus 115 aside right now. We keep on rolling. We are Arizona, San Diego. We're at 365. Same prices at DraftKings, same prices at MGM. Always good to hear about that. What about Matos under hits before we move on from Mike Torres? I'll give you a chance to think about that while I release this. Derek?
The under hits doesn't show any value. It looks like the line is fair, and maybe even bad value if there is something going on with Luzardo.
Yes. Yeah, so the edge is more Luzardo's, easier to hit today. And Stephen Culp says, move to minus 125 now. Home run, plus 20, plus 1,200, Martin Maldonado. Facing Brandon Pfaadt, who loves to pitch to contact, gives up home runs, but this is not a man who hits a ton of home runs, but that's a big price.
Yeah, Maldonado doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but a lot of that is just because he doesn't play a lot. If you look at him on like a rate basis, he is actually like a decent power hitter. His barrel rate is over 10% this year. He's got a little bit of power. Pfaadt, we know, has struggled this year. Maldonado is going to have the platoon advantage. A couple times this year, they've kind of pinch hit for him in like weird situations. I'm hoping that doesn't happen today. There is some chance of it, but at the number we're getting him at, I think, I think we're actually, wow, the bat actually has him with a 44% pinch hit risk. So that's baked in. That is already baked in, and this is still showing good value. So yeah. This one looks good. Obviously, a longer shot than Alonso to hit a home run, but we're getting plus 1,200.
Do you have his ground into double play numbers? The raw right in front of you?
I do not. Why?
Okay.
What are they?
I don't know. It's just I think he's probably been the most ground into double play batter in the history of my generation, I think. right? That's a Martin Maldonado from the Astros, right? Like he is a double play machine. Give me
Well,
those.
that
Give me
happens
those
when
markets,
yeah, that would
right?
be
What would you
great. I
have
would
to
love
get?
that as a market.
What would you have to get for that?
I have no idea, but I could
10 to 1,
calculate it. I mean, the
12
bat
to 1.
projects it. So if the books want to give that to us as a market, I would love it. The more weird markets they want to give us, the better.
It's just another tool they have to like put it out to us so they can limit.
Yeah, they can
Right?
identify, oh, you're
Derek
betting
Carty,
into
hey,
ground into double
double
plays.
plays.
This
Yeah, this is
guy, he's not
obviously
allowed to
not a
bet more than $2.
yeah. Yeah, Maldonado. That's it. So what do we got? We got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything else to add? I know we lost David Peterson under 17 and a half outs plus 125 at 9:15. We're starting to really lose those high value strikeouts, walks, and Ks at that time.
Yeah, stuff is just, it moves quickly throughout the morning. I'm not seeing a whole lot right now that's popping to add. Yeah, I think we're set where we're at.
All right, let's go. As I try to read it, scrolled on the bottom, so I got to let it go a little further. Let's go. Jesus Luzardo under 5.5 strikeouts, got that at plus 130. Could be tipping. Good edge there. David Festa under 1.5 walks. Good plus money. Tough matchup, but we take that number. Pete Alonso home run plus 350 in Baltimore. Luis Matos under 0.5 hitter case. That works well with Luzardo, and then Maldonado on a big price plus 1,200. Also at a quarter unit. Toy Flashback asking Peterson plus 115 any good? I would doubt it. You had the 125, but that you were off it, yeah.
Yeah, I might throw it out on social because there's a couple books that we don't have access to on the show that have better numbers on them. I think there's like a 135 and a 130 out there, but I don't love the 115s.
If the chat could only know the absolute strain that you have for getting the best number, right? It's a skill, and some people are like, I don't care, whatever. I'll take the plus 115 versus the plus 125.
No, it's a huge part of gambling. I mean, the plus 115 versus the plus 135 is probably like 15% ROI, swing. Like it's a big, or projected ROI swing. Like it's a big thing.
There it is. There you go. But then you get into the game of being limited, and then you don't have those outs either, right? And you're like, "Whoa,
that's the." I mean, that's the trickiest part of this whole thing. People that are new to betting come in, they think the hard part is winning, and I mean, it's not easy to win. But once you have a good system and you know what you're doing, it kind of is easy to win. And the hard part is finding action,
finding places that will pay you money. That's it. I agree. I 100% agree. You get to a point where the hardest part is finding places to get down. Absolutely. But Derek, appreciate you on a Wednesday. I'm going to keep rolling with my pitcher props, but I bid you adieu. We'll see you Friday. John Metler will take care of you then. Cheers, pal.
Have a good one.
Solo show. I got no more guests. It's just me. Sorry, guys. Stick around. I will fire through this, I believe, 5-pack of plays, including a 3-pack for the Jays game today. And I'm not forcing it. I just like it. One of them is against Derek's numbers, which, hey, nothing wrong with that. If you know that his numbers are affecting the market one way, it's not a bad idea to go the other way. And I think that's where I am with Eric Lauer on this play versus Chicago over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 105. The bat kind of likes the under, but the situation there is I think it's a low pitch count at 83. He's getting up to 90s. He's really stretched out right now. I think I buy this to minus 120, minus 125. Afternoon game, always important. Get that weaker lineup in. White Sox 25% K percentage over the last 30 days. And this is a spot where Lauer, when he's getting this longer leash, 20-plus innings pitched over his last 4 starts, 23 Ks. So 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, not much tax. But like I said, I would take this to minus 120. Sticking in that game, producer Mick, what do you got for me next? Under 8.5. It's a Wednesday. It's a getaway game for the Blue Jays. And we could see some weaker lineups on both sides. Minus 115 here. Seeing some 8s, but this is still available. One of the first things I put in the account this morning. A big thing here is both sides, because of the rain delay yesterday, both sides' bullpen needs some work. And we're talking the A bullpen could use some work. So I like this idea that if you've ever been betting an over and it's a lopsided game and it's 6-1 and the team that has one run usually brings in the B bullpen, but all of a sudden you see the A bullpen warming up. Maybe the most frustrating thing is an over because you don't get that crappy bullpen. Today we could see high leverage arms in low leverage situations. Not done with that game. Let's go on the other side. Let's go Adrian Hauser, who big part of why I like that under. He hasn't allowed a run in 2 straight games. But we're taking him for over 1.5 walks at -110. The Jays, great team at not striking out, a great team at taking a lot of pitches. I'm buying this down to -120. I don't love betting walks with taxes, but Hauser is coming off a season. He had 32 walks in 69 innings. He was really efficient to begin this year, but things are starting to creep back to that last year's numbers. 10 walks over his last 4 starts, 26 innings compared to just 6 walks over his last 24.1. He's getting a longer leash too. Maybe that 90 to 93 to 95 is about as much as you'll get out of Hauser. So we'll take that at -110. Like I said, a buy to -120, -125. And my favorite play of the day. Mackenzie Gore was my favorite play at +140 at his under 17.5 outs, but that market has fallen. Bryce Elder under 16.5 outs, -150. There's some 17.5s at -135, but I take this down to 15.5 even at this price. The worry that I had was that the Braves got absolutely demolished yesterday early. We said that Fuentes over 2.5 earned runs might have been the easiest pitcher prop bet to win of the month, maybe the entire summer. The bullpen got used, but not heavily. There are 6 arms in this Atlanta bullpen that haven't pitched in 2 days, so they will not be afraid to go to this bullpen. Now, that's the only thing saving Bryce Elder right now, who has been bad. And I don't like just to say this professional athlete's been bad, but this professional athlete might not have a job very soon. Things have been absolutely terrible. 23 runs on 33 hits over his last 4 starts. 15 innings of work. He's allowed 33 hits over his last 15 innings. And now he has to go to Sacramento, that's playing as hot as it's been all year. Fatigue in this issue. He's allowed 7 home runs over those 4 games. The ball's leaving the park. There's humidity there too. Little wind blowing out. This is a spot where someone said in the chat yesterday, Atlanta sucks. Yeah, they do. And we're fading Elder big time here, as I've realized it's really hard to run the plays solo while catching up on what you guys are saying. Chris McCauley saying, getting the 17.5 at 365 -130. I think you're safe on the 16.5 at the -115. I think the 15 points are important, but I don't think he's going over. If I could ladder this to 15.5, I would. -129. No, don't do it. Get the -114, get the -115 at 16.5. I think this goes down. I just think it's a bad spot right now with that weather. And it's been such a bad run for Elder, who I think had like a 12 strikeout game 5 starts ago. It's absolutely unraveled. That it's okay, here's your 3 innings. You got crushed. We need to stop the bleeding. We got to figure things out. Just an absolute dumpster fire of some starting pitcher right now in Atlanta yesterday and hopefully again today. Maybe back this up with Elder over 2.5 earned runs. Yeah. So there's that one too. Another one I had today, I was looking to fade Sandy Alcantara. His over 2.5 earned runs was -135. I didn't want to pay that tax, so I had to do some digging. Cincinnati team total. Cincinnati first 5 team total over 2.5 +105. Also something I like because I don't think Sandy's really found the form. We always see Joe's fading him, finding ways to fade him every 5 days. I just don't think he's found his form since coming back from Tommy John, and he's giving up runs in bunches. Cincinnati, tough spot today. Heat, humidity as well. Great American Ballpark. I think he's already given up some runs there as well today. That's it. Another show in the books. I'll post everything on my X. Tomorrow, Gary Sheffield Jr. Feel free to put some questions in what we should ask. What should Jays fans ask Gary Sheffield Jr. tomorrow, who is a very prominent person in the New York Yankees media? Maybe we'll talk to him about Michael Kay and his donkey conversations about the Jays' run differential. We can get that, but hopefully the Jays get their 11th win and franchise tying 11 straight win, and we get it on an afternoon game. And boy, oh boy, if you're a busy person at night, there is nothing better than being able to sit down, do some work, and have the afternoon ball game on without distractions. Nothing beats that in sports, Monday to Friday outside of football, maybe hockey playoffs, but it's one of my favorite things, especially in baseball. Appreciate everybody there. If you haven't already, on the way out, hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, help us out. Appreciate producer Mick. Appreciate Derek Carty. Covers Best Bets Wednesday in the book. I'll post. See you back here tomorrow, same time, 9:15. Appreciate y'all. Take care.